it's the big interview time, right? Now, every time we come your way, we bring you conversations between ourselves and somebody that you sit at home and you admire and you want to get to know more about that person. Now, this woman is in government and she's here to change the face of tourism. She has so much that she will do to make sure that our tourism sector actually goes higher and higher. Take a look at her profile video.
Maame Efua Houadjeto is a seasoned professional with a wealth of experience in leadership, marketing, communications, and hospitality. She is a proud alumni of Our Lady of Apostles Ola Girl Senior High School in Ho, where she completed her GCE O-levels and A-levels and pursued a diploma in communications, journalism, and marketing at the Ghana Institute of Journalism. She further enhanced her qualifications with a postgraduate diploma in marketing from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA. Professionally, her journey began with national service at the State Protocol Department, Office of the President, where she gained foundational experience in protocol and public service. Her extensive experience in the hospitality industry includes her roles as acting general manager of M Plaza Hotel from February 2002 to January 2003, and as room division manager from January 2000 to December 2001. These roles honed her hotel operations and customer service expertise, making her a valuable asset to the tourism sector. Not only has she impacted tourism, Maame Efua has also contributed significantly to the media and marketing industries. She was the head of client service at Charterhouse Productions from March 1998 to September 1999, and the client service and marketing executive PA to the executive director of Media Touch from March 1996 to June 1998. Beyond her professional achievements, Maame Efua is actively involved in politics, where she was privileged to serve as the Deputy National Women's Organizer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC.
NDC women organizers, we always advocate for cancer.
With a strong background in leadership and tourism development, Maame Efua aims to improve the tourism sector's contribution to the country's economy while ensuring inclusive growth for local communities as the newly appointed Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Authority. She is committed to innovative solutions that position Ghana as a top travel destination in Africa. Her appointment is a testament to her capabilities, and with her diverse background, extensive experience, and passion for excellence, she is poised to lead the Ghana Tourism Authority to new heights. The ever-gorgeous and resilient Maame Efua Houadjeto is our special guest for today's interview. Stay tuned.
And that is the one and only Maame Efua Houadjeto. I hope I got your surname right.
Correct, Houadjeto.
And I know I'm not the only person who struggles with the surname, right?
No, you're not the only person.
Okay, so it's Houadjeto.
Houadjeto. Like Ouagadougou.
Oh!
So the H is silent and the OUA is like a W. Houadjeto.
Houadjeto.
Like we spell Ouagadougou.
Very beautiful name. Unique and beautiful. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning and thank you very much.
You're welcome. And it's first time meeting you. You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
You get that a lot, don't you?
Well.
Because you are. You're stunning. When you entered, I was like, wow, this woman is beautiful.
Thank you.
I wonder how old you are. Probably like 25.
Well, almost.
Anyway, so, reading about you and getting to know that you started your journey where some of us started our journey. You started in the media space, GTV.
Yes.
Wow. Why, did you always want to go into media?
Well, my mother is a journalist.
Okay.
So she worked at GBC for almost 36 years. So it was only natural to follow her steps, But when I was younger, I had different dreams. But eventually, when I decided that I was going to do journalism, it wasn't too difficult to decide, because following Mom's step was a good thing. And my mom was such a special role model in my life. So it just fell in place. Originally, I wanted to be a medical doctor in the army,
right.
But it all changed after, things change. Sometimes your aspirations and your journey changes. So that changed. My father was a military man and a medical doctor.
Okay.
And unfortunately, you know, Rawlings' coup d'etat didn't treat us well. We went through too much trauma. So that changed my focus for going into the military and all of that.
Right.
But eventually, I admired my mother so much. She was with the English language department at GBC. I saw her write her scripts, produce her programs, and Hannah Dankwa Smith in those days. I mean, when you listen to how they spoke English and read, it was beautiful. So I said, why not? You know? But funny enough, when I went to GBC, everybody thought I would go into the newsroom and read news and all of that. But I was so shy when I was younger. I'm still a bit shy.
Are you?
And, yeah. And I rather decided to be behind the scenes. So I went into production and I enjoyed it so much. So I was the assistant producer for then the children's show, you know, our children's show department. My boss at the time was Geoffrey Kwao. He was a producer for children's show. And he said, you can't hide behind the cameras all the time. So he decided to make me a presenter for children's show. And I was producing at the same time. So yes, I worked at GBC for a while until I thought it will be more exciting. I'm a creative person by nature. So I thought, well, it will be very exciting to go into more creative space, you know, because at the time, GBC didn't allow you to do too much, you know. So I wanted to go into advertising, I mean, create content and all of that. So yes, I worked with Oboshi Saikofi at the time as her special assistant. Media Touch was quite a remarkable, you know, place to be, or an interesting place to be at the time. So Oboshi Saikofi was my boss at the time. We produced a number of things there, and I just enjoyed the creativity. I enjoyed the contents that we all put together. And from there, I moved to Charterhouse at the time. Charterhouse started as Multiple Concepts.
Okay.
So I was at Multiple Concepts, then it became Charterhouse. I worked there for a while. I also enjoyed my role there as the... I was there as... client service manager at Charterhouse, you know, and that was after a while I moved to hospitality, which was then the Plaza Hotel. I started as the rooms divisions manager, became the general manager, and even then I still played the dual role because, like I said, I'm just a creative person by nature, so at Plaza Hotel, I changed a lot of things. You know, I brought a lot of life to the place. I used my salary to buy plants for the hotel, to do rearrangements into the rooms. When guests came, I actually offered fruit platters. I introduced a lot of things into hospitality. I think that naturally, I just love being with people. I like the feel of making people happy. And it was always a joy to serve.
I can tell you're a people's person.
I am.
You know, and you are very lovable to work with
Thank
too.
you.
So I know your people actually love you. And
I hope so.
you know, talking about your father being a military man, a medical doctor in the military field, so you're a barracks girl.
I'm a proper soldier girl.
I'm a barracks girl too.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm a barracks girl too. So we've met ourselves, sister, barracks sisters.
Of course.
Now, talking about that, you said your father suffered under the coup regime, but you are in NDC. Isn't that surprising?
Yes. That's surprising, isn't it? Yeah, and funny enough, Rawlings was one of ex-president Rawlings was one of my favorite people. I somehow forgave him and grew to love him. So he's also a very humble person, because he kept saying, I need to come and apologize to your father. I need to see your father. And there was a time he actually gave my father an opportunity to serve in government. But my father was like, no. I'm a medical officer. I'm happy where I'm at. I don't want to do politics, But all the same, yes.
Was it easy forgiving him?
It was easy forgiving him, I must say. It was easy forgiving him. My parents would think differently, but for me, I just had to understand what came with it,
Okay.
What the pain for him at the time was that we were then in Tamale, and he was in charge of the military hospital in Tamale.
Okay.
So he was a senior officer there, in charge of the hospital. And to think that the coup d'etat was the other ranks, that sort of traumatized the senior officers. And with him, that was tough, So he was bundled with another doctor, the late Dr. Ninakwa, and himself. They were taken to this hill, in Tamale, and they got them rolling down the hill.
Oh, wow.
And, they went through something, and my father couldn't stop saying that, look, he only thanked God because they were about shooting them, and somebody said, look, these are medical doctors. If we shot them and anything happened to us, there were casualties, who is going to take care of us? So that spared their lives.
Wow.
So yes, it was traumatizing for them. But, as children, even though we felt their pain, it wasn't like they're going through it. And gradually, when I became a politician...
How did your parents take it?
My father is a very practical and wise man. He asked me so many times, is this what you want to do? Is this what you want to do? Is this your preference? And I said, yes. And he said, well, I'll support you all the way.
Wow, that's a good man.
Yeah.
Because some parents will say, because of what we went through, we cannot afford to have you join that political party.
I know, yeah, but...
And you have
actually, the influence was from my husband, because my husband is Ewe.
Okay.
And my husband was totally, with Rawlings. My husband worked for Rawlings at the time. He worked at the state protocol at the time, and had traveled with Rawlings a number of times. He had interesting experiences with him. So through my husband, I met him, I loved him. And my auntie is Auntie Sati, Mrs. Sati Okran, also, who at the time was a special assistant to the then First Lady Nana Konadu Rawlings. So somehow, we're still in the mix there. And I love Auntie Sati to bits. So
she's a lovable woman.
Oh, she's a lovable woman. Yeah. So yes, we had a friendship with Madame Nana Konadu Rawlings, and sometimes you just have to let the past go and look forward. So that is what it is. So yes, my husband really encouraged me into politics, and he's still a very strong support as far as my career is concerned.
You're a woman with a big heart.
Yes.
I'm not surprised that you let this go and you are in this party that you love so much, and you're here to serve Mother Ghana.
Yes, please.
So talking about that, the tourism space, is that space that you always wanted to be in?
When I was watching my life, I said, oh, she knows more than I know about myself, But yes, there's a little more to it. There's a little more to it because in between, like I said, in between I worked, my husband and I had a company called Royal Protocol. We had a partner called Nane Suman at the time, and we started tourism. So I did a bit of tourism in there. I worked as a tour operator, and we were just lucky at the time because, these are some of the reasons why I can only forgive Rawlings. At the time, we had huge numbers coming in, and we're given the opportunity to meet Farrakhan. Farrakhan was a very good friend of Rawlings, and in those days, I got the opportunity of meeting them. And I got the opportunity of handling tourists from the United States. And they came in good numbers, you know. So for any tour company, when you have good numbers, it's good business for you. So I was in the tourist space for a while. And my company also was the first one to actually have a cruise ship in Ghana. In the 2000s, you know.
Wow.
Cruise ship. So I was the first tour operator in Ghana to handle a cruise ship. Okay. And it was an exciting, thrilling experience for me. You know, in those days, I had a partner in the USA called Selma, who I worked with as a tour operator. So we had done cruise ships. We had, I always say that the numbers were so huge, I had to go into partnership with Sunseeker Tours. I'm sure you know Sunseekers, you know, so I went into some relationship with them so that they can support me with that cruise ship because it was such a huge, number for us. We also had huge numbers like the Black Psychologists Association, the African American Black Psychologists Association also came in a group. And that was the first time, that was the first time we had African Americans actually coming in to find their roots, to understand themselves.
So if we even take a look at your return and the return and all of that, you even started it?
We started it. Okay. I started it. Okay. I started with Farrakhan. I started with the cruise ship. I started with other African American societies. Wow. So I was in the tourist space for a long time, and or the tour space for a while, and I understood the logistics of the business, you know, and also we understood the importance of what tourism, meant. I keep saying that today, when I listen to how tour guides even tell our story, it was different from how we told the story.
Right.
You know, because it's improved. The space has improved. But I still think that we need to tell the story differently.
How different can we tell the story?
So, first of all, African Americans coming here, you know, we shouldn't look at them like they are tourists coming here. I always say that I look at them like they are my lost sisters and brothers. They are the ones that I've been looking for, wondering what happened to them because, you know, we lost them through slave trade, you know, and we didn't deliberately, you know, sanction this slave trade. We had our colonial masters who didn't only come to take advantage of us, but also took the strongest people from us and took away. And even in the dungeons where they were kept, it was the strongest person or strongest people that made it overseas, you know. So for me, when they come, I see them as a sibling, and I tell them that, you know what, you are the sister or the brother I've been looking for.
Right.
You are the people that we Ghanaians have been looking for. Because we felt a part of us missing. We felt, you know, that we've lost a sibling, you know. We've lost part of our family. So when you tell your story like that, they immediately feel a part of you. And you immediately also treat them differently.
Yeah.
Because you know that, you know, and we go ahead and tell them that we always wondered what happened to you, how you were treated. I mean, were you treated badly? I mean, and when you say that,
speak high.
Yes, when you tell the story that way, it sounds differently to them, and psychologically they connect immediately, and they also tell you their story.
Yeah.
I remember a number of times when somebody will say, you know what, I still remember my grandfather being a slave. I still remember my grandfather not given an opportunity. Yeah. It was by the grace of God that I even had the chance to go through education. You know, so they tell you the outrageous, experiences they have gone through.
Maame, I'm not cutting you here, but you know, some people are of the school of thought or opinion that looking at our castles and where our forefathers were kept before transported into slavery, it looks like we have to do some work there. But others also think that, no, it should be maintained as it is so that it tells the story better. As, you know, the CEO of GTA, what do you think about that?
You know, our heritage sites are very important for us to maintain. If we do not maintain it, we'll lose it completely. So especially being by the coast, you know, and you know that any building by the coast go through a lot of hardship, erosion, sea, salt water, all of that. So it is so important that we maintain the heritage sites.
So we shouldn't modernize it?
We don't have to modernize it because it's a story we are telling. They want to see exactly what their people went through. But we cannot watch the building go through cracks, you know. So it needs regular maintenance, And, you know, there are probably portions that you would have to modernize. For instance, one of the things I'm advocating for our heritage sites, like Cape Coast castles, the Elmina castles, I think that is high time we went solar because I'm advocating for sustainable tourism.
Okay.
You know, we spend so much money on electricity bills, water bills. We don't have enough to even maintain the place, you know. So if we invest in solar initially is a bit expensive, but over the time, it makes sense, you know. So if we invested in solar for all our castles, you know, with time, we'll realize that with the revenue that comes in there, will be enough to pay salaries and also to maintain the facilities. There are other little things attached to the facilities that we can improve and modernize.
I was going to say
like the shops that we have attached to the facility, the libraries that we have attached to the facility, the restaurants that we have attached to the facilities shouldn't look unwelcome. It should be fresh. It should be modern, or I mean, not state-of-the-art modern, but it should go through proper refurbishment, you know, because any eatery should smell good, should look good, and the food is what we are marketing, not the environments only, because you are marketing your African meals.
Right.
You know, you are marketing your Ghanaian meals.
Right.
Your waiters and waitresses are wearing Ghanaian clothing. So yes, you are marketing Ghana in that space, but at the same time, you need to present a space that would interest a lot of people and eventually make a lot of money and even increase employment in that space.
That's good. Now, again, let me take us into how we can project Ghana out there. It's very, very important to me. So we are in Ghana and we see the South Africans come here and they tell us, oh, you know, we are giving you visa free, come to our country. When you come, we have this, we have that, we have that. On social media, one country that keeps highlighting what they have for tourists is Dubai, where they are telling you that, oh, when you come to Dubai, you get this, you get that, you get that. As a country, what can we also do? Or are we going to do something similar? Are we going to invade these spaces, put it in the faces of the people that you have to visit our country?
First of all, the country or the government or the people would have to realize how important tourism is.
Right.
You know, these countries realize how important it is, so they invest in that space and they really make sure that it works for them, because they know that whatever they put in there, they will make it 1,000 times, you know. And that is what we as a people will have to realize.
So is tourism, investment in tourism is not enough? Is that what it is?
Well, first, tourism at the moment is I can easily say, is the third sector in the economy. The third sector that stimulates the economy. When it comes to the income that we generate from tourism, I bet that with what we are doing, by 2016, 2017, it should be number 2 or number 1, you know. But in the past, we focused on our gold, our cocoa, and all of that. But now we have come to realize how important tourism is and how important it stimulates the economy. Yes, so the things that tourism brings us is employment through hotels, restaurants, car rentals, shops, clothing industry, all of that. is stimulated by tourism. Even when you can stretch it and say that civil engineers, contractors, architects, construction workers, all of them gain from tourism. Once you know how broad, and even technology, sustainable energy, and all of that promotes tourism.
Right.
So every aspect of the economy is touched by tourism.
Yeah, but Maame,
so,
you as a CEO, are you looking at maybe invading certain countries, like maybe you go to South Africa and say, oh, we are working with this, airline company, or we are working with this travel agency, and we want people to come into the country and explore the country. When you come in, we are giving you an offer, maybe it's $1,500 US. We are giving you hotel, we are giving you tour sites, you go to Elmina Castle, you go to Kakum National Park, you go here for $1,500. Are we going to look into that side?
Certainly. That's why I wanted to give you the background of how important tourism is to us.
Right.
Once we realize how important it is, then we are open for that kind of investment. Because first of all, our visa regime is very, very tight.
Yeah.
People do not come in freely. You have to pay so much at the airport, $200 to go in and out, to come into Ghana. While South Africa does is free, So
and Dubai is less.
And Dubai is even less.
Dubai is, I think, $100 or
$100 about $100, So I think that, first of all, we need to look at our visa system here. And, of course, it is important for us to market Ghana outside of Ghana.
Right.
And one of my pillars to succeed in this industry is to do exactly that. So I'm going to promote the creative industry to tell our story in South Africa.
Great.
I'm going to promote our Ghanaian-made products to tell our story in South Africa. Look, South Africa you mentioned, so I'll use that as a case study. Okay, South Africans have about 151 companies in Ghana. And Ghanaian products in South Africa, about 2. If you want to stretch it, 3.
Wow.
But it's not more than
low.
that. That's too low. So it is for us, okay, to look at tourism differently. So one of the things that I'm advocating is that our creative industry, okay, would have to help us tell the story. So we're going to take our creative industry to South Africa, for instance, to tell our story, to have plays and movies and what have you, telling our stories. We're going to have you journalists also come with us to tell our stories, just so that and of course, we're going to have exhibitions to also promote our products, have our musicians also be known in South Africa and elsewhere. Once we do that, it's all part of the marketing. It's just the first step. If you remember, I remember years ago, I didn't even understand it at the time. When I was working at Charterhouse years ago, we had a lot of South Africans helping us with promotion, and we had this South African play, drama. It was so exciting. I mean, experiencing their culture. But that was how they started promoting themselves here. Having their musicians come and sing here. And these are the same things we have to do. Then eventually, we also bring them over and say, you know what, come and experience Ghana. There's so much for you to do here in Ghana. And of course, Ghana is uniquely rich. Yeah. Uniquely rich. We are friendly people. The country is peaceful, and we have to take advantage of that. Just for the fact that it's a very stable country as far as peace is concerned, we need to take advantage of that, market that as part of our tourism packages. Let people come and experience Ghanaians' hospitality in our hotels, in our restaurants. Let people experience our food, our clothing. And there should always be a story.
There should always be. That's very important.
Yes, in those days, I could tell you the name of this cloth. These days, I don't know the names of the clothes.
We wear like that.
So we're losing some of it. Some of it will be called Obatampa
and all of that.
Janoye, So, we have such beautiful history and heritage that we are losing. And I think that it's time that we tell our stories through our creative people, we tell our stories through our journalists, we tell our stories through the regular Ghanaian. And one of the other people that I think we should touch and also train are our drivers, you know, because they are first contact when these stories come in. So every driver should understand a bit of Ghana. We should know who our leaders are. We should know what tourism sites we have. We should know...
Are we going to take them back to school, or how do we plan to...
We'll find a way of training them. I think we've done it before. We can do it again. You know, they have various associations, and we'll take it. I mean, it's a huge task.
It is
so we'll do it, you know, one step after the other.
You know, so talking about that again, you know, under the NPP administration, they brought the year of return, and people felt tourism had grown. There was Eat Ghana celebration that was happening at the Independence Square, 3-day celebration. There were other events that took place that people felt, oh, they've done so well. Now, talking about that, are we still going to maintain these things that they were doing, or you are bringing something new to the table?
I think that these things always existed, but they scaled it up.
Okay.
They scaled it up. And I must say they had interesting marketing cliches, you know, beyond the return and all of that. These are very, very good marketing cliches. It hits the person, you know. So, yes, at the activities, we are not throwing anything away.
Okay.
The way they upscaled it, we're even going to do better. We're even going to make sure that we take it a couple of notches up, you know. So, yes, we are going to do that and do a few more.
Okay.
To make sure that we grow our tourism industry.
So are you going to change the name, or you're going to stick to these names?
You know, this government is not a government that ruins things. You know, we only add. So what we've done is that we are adding the Black Star experience.
Okay.
So what we're doing is that every event we have, we will have the banner, the Black Star experience. The whole thing is that whoever comes here, whatever clothing you see, whatever food you try, where you sleep, our way of style, is us. And we are the Black Stars. So we want you to experience us, which is the Black Star experience.
So the Black Star experience. So is it going to be the Black Star experience and then into brackets, year of return or beyond return or something? Okay, so it's not like the name is going to be changed.
No, we are not going to push anything away.
Okay.
We are only going to scale it up, like I said, yes.
That's amazing. And so we in the media space, where do we come in?
Oh, you in the media space, you will always be our mouthpiece, you know, you'd always be our mouthpiece. So, for instance, the examples you gave me about, I mean, taking people abroad so that we get them here, you are going to be our mouthpiece. You're going to help us market some of these projects or some of these products that we're going to come up with. And of course, you'll be the first to also go out there to, you know, be our ambassadors.
Right.
So that you can also market Ghana.
So you're going to take on some ambassadors?
Yes, we're going to take on some ambassadors.
Okay.
You know,
what will make one qualify to be an ambassador?
I think personality matters. The popularity of the person matters, because you see, if you need a tourism ambassador, it should be somebody that you can relate to immediately, you can recognize immediately. The person can easily be a role model.
Right.
So let's say with you, if you become a tourism ambassador under us, you have to tell us what you're most comfortable with.
Okay.
Is it our bracelets? Is it our kente? Is it our African print?
Right.
You know, so you have to wear and eat things that represents us.
Okay, so you live it. And so
you live that. You live that life.
Oh, right.
And that is, so when you do that, people emulate you. And that's what we're looking for.
Okay.
You know.
That's nice. Okay, so can people apply, or it's not something that you can choose?
Well, you don't apply, but I mean, we can always make a few.
That's nice. Now, let's also talk about certain places that when we were young, we saw it blossom, and we are hoping that these places will grow. Kakum National Park, the waterfall, what's it called?
Boti, we have Boti, we have Lee Waterfall.
Yes. No, I think Lee is doing well. I think it's
Bully Waterfalls, yes.
Yes, Bully Waterfalls is doing well. I think it's Boti, and no, the other one around the Bono area. Kintampo.
Kintampo, yes.
I mean, these are places that were, really generating revenue for the country. But we've seen it deteriorate over a period. Are we going to see a revamp of these places as well?
Certainly. Like I said, one of the interesting products that I'm bringing on board is I'm going to make sure that sustainable tourism really works. So our tourist sites are going to get some facelifts.
That's good.
Okay, and we're also going to introduce a lot of eco accommodation into these things.
Right.
We're going to make sure that the road network is better. We're going to make sure that we give some standards to the eateries around these places, And we're also going to make sure that we have professionals taking care of our facilities. These are very important. Yes, we're going to refurbish some of the places. We're going to have professionals take care of them. We're even going to, in the future, have volunteers that will make sure that they clean our beaches, they help keep the country clean, because we cannot say people should come to Ghana, you present Ghana as a showcase, and they come and see a country that every gutter has filth in, every junction has a baller gathered somewhere, that kind of thing. So yes, we're going to have volunteers who are going to help us keep the country clean, and we're going to have professionals in our tourist sites who will help us also maintain our tourist sites. We are also in talks with the Ministry of Roads and Highways, who are also going to help us reconstruct some of the roads that leads to our tourism sites.
That's good. Now, again, I love tourism though. you can tell I love it, right?
I do.
Now, our hotels. You are, into the hospitality yourself. You've handled hotel, managed a hotel, an entire hotel. So you understand the space very well. One thing that people complain about is the costs of hotels. It's killing. Even the tourists complain about it because they compare the hotel here and then the prices of hotel in other countries, and they'll say to themselves, I would rather go somewhere else than to come here because I know cost of living here is very expensive. Is the tourism industry going to look into that, maybe liaise with this hospitality industry and see what they can do with costs of hotels?
Certainly. My first meeting with the hotel associations was to tell them that my main focus is on sustainable tourism, and we're going to all practice alternative energy. You see, their utility cost is quite high, the electricity bills, because air conditions must be on all the time. So we have to encourage every hotel to gradually go into solar, to gradually go into some sort of alternative energy, so that eventually their running cost will come down and the cost of hotels would also come down. These countries that we talk about, I don't think they're all on their main grid. They all have all these alternative energy that makes their costs come so low.
Right.
And that is something we have to learn to do, because like you're saying, I mean, these days it is not people who are on retirement that travel like before. Before they'll say, oh, I'm on retirement, let me travel around the world, let me go to Africa. No, these days, they're young, beautiful people like you. They want to have fun. They're like, what do I do this summer? What do I do at Christmas? And they're bold and adventurous, and all they want to do is travel around the world. So instead of they going to Spain to have fun, to spend Christmas or to do their summer, if your rates here are good, they'll certainly come to Ghana and come and enjoy themselves. And I understand that a lot of the young women like the Ghanaian men.
Yeah, they do. It's just a cost. It comes as a cost.
So it's part of our marketing.
But are we going to have the government also saying probably, I want to pick a few hotels and give some tax exemptions to bring down the cost?
Oh, certainly. What we are doing is that we first of all need to identify a few companies that can help our hotels with this alternative energy, and we need to support them with how they pay or how they go about it. Once we're able to do that, that is a big tick for us. And gradually we look at the other things that, makes their overhead costs very high.
Right.
We need to find out what, escalates their costs so that we can help them bring it down. Then they can also charge less. Another thing that Ghana Tourism Authority also would like to do is to give our frontline people in the hotels extensive training.
Very important.
Because in hospitality, customer service is key, so we need to also up our customer service. The usual Ghanaian attitude, we used to be very serviceable people, but it's changing, and we need to bring Ghanaians back to what we used to be. We need to enjoy how to serve people. We need to remind ourselves that we're a country of very polite people. We're a country of, even when you insult me, say, "Me pacho me dase, me pacho yo." We say please every time, and we say thank you every time, and we smile all the time. And sometimes I think that the stress of life makes us lose some of these things. So we also want to give our frontline workers that kind of training in customer service so that they understand what they're doing, they understand the importance of the industry that they are, that the smile brings money to the company. So it's important for them to understand what they're doing and do it better.
Maame, you have said a lot, and I love everything that you have said. I'm praying that you'll be able to do it, but do you think it can be done in 4 years?
Oh, certainly. I mean, every journey starts with a step. And I think that we've started something already, As much as Ghana Tourism Authority celebrates Heritage Month, we have supported we have supported sister companies like yours and yourself with your tourism activities during Heritage Month. For the first time, we also engaged in a food fair. What we call the 68 at 68. Yeah. And next year is even going to be bigger.
Okay.
It's going to be bigger. And certainly, we are going to encourage everybody who has some products or something to celebrate with us during this Heritage Month that we do, so that we can.
So it's going to happen every month?
No. We have a specific month. That is the March because of our Independence Day. Okay. But I've got a lot of calls saying, "Oh, can you extend it?"
I was going to ask, can we do it every month? At least once a month? Can we have this food fair?
I mean, once a month is like every day. I mean, the food fair.
The food fair. You know what I mean?
Yes,
let's have the food fair once every month, and then we
can do once every quarter.
Once every quarter.
We have other things that we are doing. We want to also promote sports.
Okay.
So sports is also going to be an integral part of tourism.
Yeah.
The number of people that sports introduces or brings into your country, or even the eyeballs that follow sports is very crucial.
Right.
So we believe that tourism should be intertwined with sports, so that as you enjoy your favorite game, you also get to know about Ghana.
Right. Let's encourage Made in Ghana wear on Mondays as well. Now it's only Fridays. Can we do Mondays?
We can even do more. So we can do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
That would be great.
So Monday, Tuesdays will be
corporate wear.
And
then Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I think we should do that.
Mommy, I think
by doing that, we'll promote the industry.
Exactly.
And but lovely, beautiful girls like you also like to look good in your Western clothing.
We look good in the African print.
Okay.
So let's institute it. We can champion it for you. Okay. We are here for you.
No
Maame, thank you so much for being here. We are very grateful. We wish we had more time to talk, but unfortunately we can't. And our guest has been Mrs. Marilyn Maame Efua Houadjeto, and she is the CEO for Ghana Tourism Authority. Of course, listening to all that she has said, we know that the future is bright in that sector, and I know she can definitely do it, but she needs your support to succeed. And so let's all rally behind her and support her for a better Ghana. My name is Roslyn Felly. This all time will permit us for this morning show. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.